Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Craig here from Soundiron, and in today's Soundiron session we're going to be looking at a track that I wrote in the style of the Cobra Kai video game. So for any of you that might have missed the Soundiron podcast interview that I did with Zach and Leo, who are the composers for Cobra Kai the TV series and the video game, they talked a little bit about their approach for their sound of Cobra Kai and blending it together with some of the old school Super Nintendo side-scroller fighting games like Streets of Rage, and kind of bringing that vibe musically and some of the old school kind of video game sound in with the Cobra Kai sound. And it's a really fun soundtrack. I definitely recommend any of you to check it out. So this track was inspired by the game. I just thought it would be really fun to kind of do something like that. Mixing together some of our libraries in with the guitar, because there's a lot of guitar in here, there's a lot of drums. And we'll talk about some of the libraries that I use, and we'll also be just kind of showing a little bit of the process of how I wrote it, layering synths and guitars together and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and check out the track. Alright, so that was the track. Now let's go ahead and start breaking it down. So with this track, I really wanted to kind of write something a little bit more along the lines of some of the more upbeat, faster driving tracks on the score. There's a lot of different variations and kind of that more 80s classic Cobra Kai stuff. But for this one, I wanted to pick one of the tracks that were a little bit more driving, a little bit more kind of chuggy guitar riffs, some cool shredding kind of 80s inspired guitar leads and stuff like that. So first off, this whole track basically started, I wanted to kind of have that 4 on the floor kind of vibe, which is very common in Cobra Kai. So I knew this track was going to have some of that 80s drum, kind of Lindrum sound, and I wanted to find something that had that, so I was using this modern 80s drum kit that Dom Sigala's put out. If you don't know who Dom is, he's got a YouTube channel, he does a ton of stuff for Cubase. Awesome guy, really talented musician and composer, and this was actually something that he put out that is available on Haley & Sonic. It's just super cool. I'll just go ahead and play a little bit of this for you, just so you can kind of hear how it sounds soloed. So I wanted to just start it off with that classic kind of 4 on the floor, just kick, starting the drive, getting that pulse going. And then after that, pretty much we start to introduce some guitars. So I wanted to really kind of, have just kind of a chuggy intro rhythm that kind of gets it going. So this is how the guitar starts. So you got the drums, and then you got one guitar coming in, and then another guitar coming in, just so it kind of feels like it's building and building. So the next evolution in the composing process is to start adding in some metal drums. And for this, I use Superior Drummer 3. I really like how this kit sounds, so now let's go ahead and we'll play it a little bit before the drums come in. So I was happy with that. I actually used some of the different grooves that came with this as well. I just kind of wanted, working quick. Luckily, Superior Drummer 3 has a lot of really cool grooves, and then sometimes I'll tweak them depending on a certain fill, or if I want to take a fill out or just keep it straight. So a lot of those are really good. So, for any of you that are maybe looking at Superior Drummer, there's some pretty cool stuff in there. And then we also have some bass too, so let's go ahead and include the bass. This was, the bass and guitars are all recorded through the Kemper, and then I also captured the DIs through my Countryman Type 85. But a lot of these tones, they're all just straight from the Kemper. So now let's bring in some bass. So pretty much, we got the intro, and then we have sort of where everything's kind of playing together. And then after that, it's time to change it up. Can't play the same riff over and over. So this is kind of like more of like a cool, chuggy beatdown thing where we start to incorporate some other synths. And one of my favorite things to do is layer guitars with synthesizers. And we recently came out with a new synthesizer that's in our Vintage Keys series. This one is EZ6100. There's a ton of really awesome, like retro kind of old school video game sounds in here. So let's go ahead now. I'm gonna solo just the guitars, and then we're gonna listen to it with the synth. So let's go ahead and listen to it, to the guitars without the synth and then with the synth. And then this is how the synth sounds by itself. And this was actually an effects preset that I made. I was really kind of trying to channel some of that Jordan Rudess Dream Theater prog lead kind of sound, which is why the name of it is called prog lead. And with the mod wheel, you can kind of increase the octave to really thicken it up, so it has this really beefy, synthy sound. So in combination with the guitars, it just kind of fattens it up and gives it a little bit more life. With just the guitars, it sounds cool, but with the synth, kind of sounds even cooler, I think. And then I'm also layering it with the electric Zaz that we have. This one's cool. I just wanted to kind of incorporate some other instruments with this. So there's synth and the electric Zaz playing at the same time. And I just wanted to kind of incorporate a little bit more of like a different instrument, something a little bit higher that kind of pops through. So let's listen to how the guitars sound with this. So going into the next part, I wanted to have a fun transition, so I thought, do a little bit of a sweepy shred stuff. And I'm also layering this with one of the other effects presets from EZ6100, which is called Bowser's Castle. Very inspired by a lot of old Super Nintendo type stuff. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna solo just this so you can hear it. So I layered this in combination with the guitars. There's two leads. There's basically like kind of a shreddy, sweepy side. And then there's another side where I harmonized it using string skipping and then combining it with some synths just so it just kind of has that classic 80s kind of prog, layering. So let's check that out. Okay. And then now let's go ahead and start incorporating the leads. So let's see, they're right here. Let's go ahead and solo this side. And then we harmonized it, so let's play that side now. So you can see, like in combination together, it has this really kind of cool 80s shred vibe. I love that kind of stuff. Whenever I get to be able to write in this style, it's always fun to play. So let's go ahead and just keep it going. So we got this melody still harmonized, pretty much carrying from the transition. Let's go ahead and unsolo that and listen to it all in context. So this part is just kind of to change up the vibe, kind of let the music breathe a little bit, just some stringing chords, some kind of lead harmonies that are, you know, bringing a little bit more of a melodic element to it. And then after this, just a little drum fill with some slides on the guitar just to kind of lead into the next part, which is bringing back that intro. You'll hear we got the modern 80s Lindrum coming back, pretty much just kind of reprising the intro. And this wouldn't be a rockin' shred tune without a cool solo, right? So pretty much at this point, you know, we're bringing the intro back, kind of building it back up, and then instead of just continuing that sort of verse section, I just wanted to, you know, bust a little solo over it. Thought it'd be fun. And pretty much it's just kind of just driving over that main intro. And then also, as the solo comes in, I'm layering it again with this Bowser's Castle synth. This is how it sounds by itself. And then here it is layered with the guitar. I just thought, you know, a cool way to go out with the solo is to, you know, some little kind of channeling that Yngwie Malmsteen pedal tone stuff, and I'm also harmonizing that with the Bowser's Castle Easy 6100 and another guitar layer. Now here it is with the guitar harmony. And then after the solo, we're kind of bringing in that sort of tom build-up, kind of beat down part. I also have this prog lead that I'm playing sort of in combination with this melody, again, the harmonized melody. And I'm layering it with the synth. And then at the very end of the song, just thought I would kind of put a cap on it and just end it sort of like in a cool stylistic way. So we got rhythms. Let's just go and check out what the rhythm guitars are doing. You know, just basically chords based around the chuggy part. And then we also got this guitar harmony down here. I'm gonna go ahead and solo all these. I thought that was fun. I thought that'd be a fun way to end it. And then I'm also layering that lead with the Easy 6100 again. And then in context. And then also going back to the intro, I'm using our glitch hero. And this is just, I'm just using a riser for it because I was like, I wanted something to kind of swoop into the intro so it kind of felt like something was coming instead of just kind of starting it off dry. So let's check that out. So that little swoop in, that's a glitch hero from the Shutter kits. And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty straightforward track. I mean, a lot of it is just kind of playing around with layering some synths, some guitars, some guitar harmonies, and just kind of driving rockin' drums. And that's pretty much it. Alright, so that about wraps up this Soundiron session. I want to thank you all so much for watching. This was a fun one to write, and whenever I get to incorporate guitars and virtual instruments and just kind of, get into a shred a little bit on a track, it's always fun. So I definitely appreciate all of you watching. Definitely like the video if you dig it, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, and take care.